cloth dust bags. Up until relatively recently, in fact, people would use these things as their main method of capturing dirt in their vacuum cleaners. But just how bad are they? And of course, by just how bad are they, I mean just how bad are they at capturing and keeping the dirt in them? If I think back, it's amazing to think that people just used cloth to capture the dirt that their vacuum cleaners were picking up. A lot of machines had cloth bags in them, with the option to use paper bags. I can think of numerous Hoovers and Electroluxes that used cloth bags. And it kind of baffles me, really. People didn't understand about filtration back in those days, all those years ago. They didn't really think about what was going into their vacuum cleaner and then being shot out the back end of it. And if you think about it, paper is not particularly efficient at capturing dust and dirt. It's only in modern times that we have these new materials like HEPA-FLO bags, which are fantastic at it because they have been specifically designed and built to have incredible levels of filtration. And also our modern machines, probably go back to the 90s I suppose, have HEPA filters, which do, again, an incredible job of really filtering the air and making it as pure as it can be. I remember when the DC03, Dyson DC03 came out onto the market, and I was astonished that it had 2 HEPA filters in it. That was unbelievable at that time, utterly unbelievable. If you compare that to, Hoover was still selling the Turbo Power, the Mark I Turbo Power, which just had a paper bag, a single layer paper bag, versus Dyson's DC03 with twin HEPA filters in it. That's just amazing. I've kind of gone off on a tangent there, but I'm just thinking about the history of it, where we came from, where we went to, and where we are now. You think back to the 60s and 70s, most people just used their machines with the cloth bag. They couldn't be bothered to get a paper bag. It was probably too much hassle. They would fill up the cloth bag, empty it into the bin, shake it out, bang it about a bit, stick it back into the machine, and carry on with their cleaning. Some of the machines didn't even have pre-motor filters or exhaust filters, and even when they did, they were just rudimentary pieces of cloth or other bits of cloth or felt or something crazy. This bag here is from an Electrolux. I'm not entirely sure which model it is, but it's one of the longer style ones. I think it may have been from a 65 actually. Oh yes, it was from a 65, I remember. And this is very, very common cloth bag from an Electrolux of that era. And yeah, people would just put that in their machine and off they'd go. Do their cleaning, sorted. I don't think the 65 had an exhaust filter. Or did it? No, it did. It did, that's right. It had a cage. It was a plastic cage. So yeah, at least the 65 had one other layer of filtration on it. This bag is from our Excelsior machine. This is just shocking, really. It's thicker. It's a thicker cloth. Just looking down it, I can't see you. Hello. It's a thicker cloth than the Lux bag is, but that machine did not have any filtration whatsoever. Although it did have that little poofy thing on the back, but that really wasn't a filter. It was more of a air freshener. There was no pre-motor filter on it, and that, as I say, no real exhaust filter. So if the user didn't bother to use paper bags, this was it. That was it. That's all they had. Just that piece of cloth to capture all the dust and dirt and prevent it being poofed back out into the room they were cleaning. Now this bag's interesting. This is from a very late Hoover commercial, C1310, I think. Same style as the Hoover 912A. This is a much more modern style of cloth. It's, again, not particularly thick. It's more like a dotted kind of pattern where it's thicker in places than it is in others. I suppose for a commercial use, you're not overly bothered about the filtration in the atmosphere, but certainly from a domestic point of view, you really would be. This is from approximately 1989, something like that. But yeah, again, it's just, what's it doing really? It's not. I don't think it's doing a particularly good job. The next video I had intended to show you on our Electrolux 87 was actually the cleanup process of that machine. But I filmed it slightly out of order because I filmed a couple of segments where I removed the god-awful flip-over floor tool from its rod, and another segment where I made some filters for it out of a Numatic Henry HEPA-FLO bag. Because I kind of had this thought in my mind of doing a little experiment. So you guys go off now, you watch me in the workshop taking the floor tool off the rods and making some filters for the 87. I'll get this cleared up and I'll see you back here shortly. Let us try and get this rod out of this floor tool. So we're going to need the heat gun. Grab that. Everything is piled up everywhere, it's ridiculous. Unplug the 87. Plug in the heat gun. So we're just going to heat up this elbow here on the floor tool, and that should allow us to remove this rod. Let's give this a go. I'm going to get too mad with it. And there we go. Look at that. Ugh. More old lady pubes. Oh, God, look at that. Ugh. Vile. That's really manky. Yeah, this head is just really horrible, so I don't think we're going to be using that. We will use something else when we run the 87. But at least it's off. Let's have a go at making an exhaust filter. So here we have a Numatic HEPA-FLO bag. I'm just going to pop this down here, basically just cut around it. So hopefully, yes, I've got some scissors. There we go, always useful. So let's just start snipping around. There we go, there's our replacement filter pad for the 87. Let's just suck this off a little bit. And let's pop that in. Move that pole out of the way. Let's bring the 87 back up. Here we are. Here it is. I think what we'll do is we'll put it in that way, so that then covers the writing up. Actually, is it easier to put it on that first? Let's see. Put it in here. There we go. Yeah, that's probably the easier way of getting it on. Which way does it go? It goes that way. Just push it in place. So there we are. Then we have our lovely white exhaust filter now for the 87, so that's looking good. And we need to try and come up with some kind of motor filter. So I'm trying to think what the easiest way of doing this is. Get a rough idea of the size, because it's quite difficult to measure it. Have I got a tape measure? That might be the easiest way. Just taking the bag out for some reason, don't know why. Tape measure, tape measure, tape measure, tape measure. Anyone? Anyone got a tape measure? No? Tape measure? No? Anyone? No. Okay. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Alright, maybe if we use some masking tape. Let's use some masking tape. And then we'll get a rough indication of size, because this is a square section here on the machine. Just here. So if we just, I don't know if this tape's going to be any good now. Look at this. Oh God. This is rough. Hang on. Can I? No, that's not going to work. Oh, gotta do good content, don't I? Hang on. Come on. Peel off. Just peel off. Just peel off. Come on, give me a bit. Come on. I just want an edge. Oh my God. Just want an edge. That's all I want. Can I peel that off? You wouldn't believe I can't find a tape measure. Oh, this tape. No, this tape's no good. No, this tape's no good. No, no, that ain't gonna work. Bin. Alright. Need to rethink. I'll be right with you. Right, I've just done this really quick and dirty, to be honest with you. I've just like put the machine in place here, like so, on the bag, and then just marked out around it, and then basically just cut out a square. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's basically what I've done. So we've got a square filter pad now. Now it doesn't fit exactly right in the machine, but of course what will happen is when the machine's running, the suction and the airflow will pull it over the perforated opening of where the motor is. So if I turn it on now, and in fact that's probably a little bit too small. I think that's a bit too small. So let's try that again. Let's get rid of the 87. That's a bit too small, I think. So if we go for like another centimetre around the side, we need another bag. Let's grab another Henry bag, like so. These bags are really cheap, so you know I'm not bothered about this at all. This is fine. I think I'll keep the edge actually. So let's add another inch or so. I think add another inch to it. That'll be really nice and big, and then I'm absolutely certain it will fit and it will cover the perforations for where the motor is. So let's snip all the way down to there. There we go. We'll keep this one because that will be useful for something else, and that section of the bag. So let's try this now. Let's stuff this down at the front. Which way you go? That way. Come out. Pop it in. Move it around a bit. Tuck it in. Like so. And this is only a temporary thing, of course. This is only a temporary thing because we want to do an experiment to see how much dirt goes through. So now, yeah, that's nicely covering it actually. I might probably do with pulling it over a little, maybe tucking it in a bit more, just like that. There we go, let's try that again. As you can see, it hasn't had a massively detrimental effect to the suction and airflow on this cleaner, because it's just so good anyway. It's that material is so good at letting air through. It works really well. So that's that bit done, and now I think we need to give the machine a really good clean. and post filters being made video. Here is our old friend, the 87, that has had those filters in it for approximately 2 weeks now. Now, I've been using this machine as my main vacuum cleaner because I just really like it. I really like this cleaner. I think it's fantastic. It's reasonably powerful. It's very, very quiet. And it's extremely easy to use, especially when you get rid of that flip over floor tool and actually use a proper floor tool. It's brilliant. I love it. And what I did was I thought, okay, I'm going to use this cleaner, but I'm just going to keep it with the cloth bag. Get the muck off it. The muck in here. I'm just going to use it with the cloth bag and those filters that I put in it. So what I'm going to do now is bring you a bit closer. We're going to look at the dirt that's been sucked up into the machine's cloth bag, and then we're going to look at the state of the filters. Now, obviously, this is not a controlled experiment in any way, but I was just really curious to see what kind of dust these old style cloth bags used to let through, and just to see what the state of the filter is after having normal use for 2 weeks. So come down and let's check out the inside. Now, here we go. Now, the first thing I need to do is prove to you that I have been using this without a paper bag in it. So let's open the machine's front. Ta-da! And let's gingerly pull the bag out because there's going to be quite a lot of dirt in here. And then we'll have a quick look at it. So there you go. There's all the dirt that I've sucked up with it. Oh, nasty. A really quite thick dust on the walls of this cloth bag. It's probably about up to there, I would think. So just to give you an idea, probably about half full-ish, maybe a third full. Depends if you sort of compact it down. So that's what we've done. That's 2 weeks worth of vacuuming. So now we need to look at the motor filter and the exhaust filter. So I'm just going to very carefully put this bag down over there, like so. And what we'll do is pull out the piece of dust bag that we used as the motor filter. Now that surprisingly doesn't look too bad. Put it like that, so you can let me bring it up so you can see it a bit better. I mean, there's definitely dust on it. You can see it all there, and you can see where it's wrinkled. So really, I turn it around to the back. It hasn't done too bad at all. I think you can see here where the air has been going around the side, and it's been getting trapped on the side here. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely dust caught in this. I would say less than I was expecting, to be totally honest with you. I thought that would be much worse. And I hadn't really noticed any particular detriment to the 87 suction whilst I've been using it. Obviously, it did go down because as this bag fills and the pores in the cloth block up, then you get less airflow. But overall, it wasn't particularly awful. And there's the white filter for the exhaust. So let's just pop this off and we'll have a look at this. Check this out. See what we've got going on. Oh yeah, look. There you go. Definitely some dirt. Oh goodness. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, that's like a little. Yeah, you definitely see that's been working. But interestingly, look at that. There's hardly anything inside there. It's all been caught by this layer. I can actually, look, I can take that off as well. I can take that off with my finger. So it's kind of caught on the surface of the filter. Isn't that amazing? Because this is really very white still. It's only this little bit here on that layer that's actually got any dirt in it. And I think this area around the side is likely to be carbon dust from the motor as well. So that's more than likely carbon dust rather than actual physical dust. So yeah, quite interesting. I'm just going to put this back together and then we will have a summary. Well, to summarise, I'm actually quite surprised. I thought that would be much worse than it turned out to be. The cloth bag does not a brilliant job of filtering out the finer dust particles, but it does an okay job actually. I think probably over time, over a long period of use, those filters would get so blocked up with the dust that just came through that cloth bag, that they would completely block up and you'd have no suction from this machine whatsoever. It's only a 550 watt motor. And actually I wonder if that goes some way to towards there not being too bad. If this machine is only 550 watts, it's not moving a huge amount of air. If it's not moving a huge amount of air, then there's less particles that go through the cloth bag to block up the filters. I wonder if it would be interesting to, I don't know, put a 2000 watt motor in this cleaner and then use it with that filtration system. I can imagine that this rear grille will just go poo off the back at some point because there's such pressure on it. It was so blocked up that it just couldn't cope anymore. And to be honest with you, it would probably overheat and potentially catch fire. So that's not a very good idea. I'm just wondering if there's any other machines I can try this experiment out on. Nothing immediately springs to mind. If you can think of one, please let me know in the comments. That would be really interesting. And I hope you found this interesting as well. It's a little weird sort of sub video that I thought I'd do. Yeah, I need to get back on track. I need to get this 87 cleaned up and into the collection proper, because I can't keep using it because it's, you know, God, what, 45 years old now? It shouldn't really be used as a normal everyday vacuum cleaner. It's far too precious. So that's it for now. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget to do the usual, commenting, subscribing and liking, because it really helps me out and I love hearing from you guys. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.